welcome everyone to the Too Long to Listen podcast. I'm Senda, I'm your host. With me today is Gabrielle. I'm happy to have Gabrielle on the show because not only is she joining us from the UK, which is close to my heart, but also she has an interesting product marketing experience to share with us today. So, welcome, Gabrielle. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, Sandra. How about yourself?
I'm well. I'm excited to be talking to you and ask you a bunch of questions. So, with no further ado,
Yeah.
I'd love for you to give our listeners an intro about yourself and more specifically how you got into product marketing.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having me on here. So I started out in marketing generally, just, doing everything in marketing from email campaigns to social media to you name it, printing out publications, everything about 10 years ago. So I started out as an apprentice in London as in the tech field. So I was working in Shoreditch, very much known for like the tech app sort of side of things, particularly 10 years ago. So I was working in an app company there in marketing, and then I left and went on to work for a few more other app companies, and then mostly into the event space as well. I'm doing a lot of marketing for huge event companies in London and working with a range of like musicians and artists when I'm helping them with their launching of their albums, their merchandise, especially when they're trying to get into the European and UK market. So that was really fun. I spent a lot of years doing that. And then the last 4 years I've been at APM. So that stands for the Association for Project Management. And I've been working in the marketing team my whole time here. And I was actually looking after events and publications, all the books and research that we produce for the project profession. And now I look after qualifications.
So, can you tell us how was it shifting from your previous job, so being in PR and marketing, like more of a, let's say, general marketing, to becoming niche product marketing?
Yeah, so the shift really is it was actually quite organic. Because the reason why I sort of found a bit more into myself more in the product marketing field is because about a year ago our team got changed to become the product marketing team. We were firstly more of the marketing campaigns team, but obviously we had to shape all the messaging, the positioning, like our marketing strategy and the plan that we'll do for every product or everything we're going to launch and promote was very extensive. So it made sense for the leadership team and our head of marketing to change our roles to become, product marketing. So it was quite an organic change. I think the big thing for me that I'm still learning as well is, I mean, I know that product marketing is the engine, right? We're the driving force behind everything in marketing. And without product marketing, that messaging, that positioning, the copyright, all of those key elements, that's the strategical part. It would all fall away. So finding myself in this role over the past few years, I've realized that actually it's important to not go back to that generalist role where I was doing everything. It's so easy because obviously we have to set the tone. We set the tone for everything that's going to go on the social media, on the assets, everything the sales team's going to be using, everything that goes on the website. Like it all comes back down to us, but I have to be very careful not to overextend and overdo it because people will end up. I've seen this happen to a lot of people in our product marketing field, where we end up just doing everything in marketing, don't we? And it ends up coming back to us. But it's really, I think, having this community really helped me to realize that there's lines that can be drawn in teams, and so that's really my journey so far.
I love that. Like, honestly, being a product marketer who can set boundaries is probably the biggest challenge out
No,
there.
it is. Yeah.
And you're so right when you say I do have a similar journey where I started as a marketer, like a do-it-all kind of
Yeah.
marketer, and then shifted to product marketing. And still in product marketing, I do feel like there's so many things that we touch. So you mentioned messaging, positioning, but there's also, it's funny, where like marketing
Yeah.
campaigns fall also under product marketing, the website as well. So what is your current focus at APM, and also which I guess which area of product marketing are you mostly focusing on at your current role?
Yeah, oh, I love this question. So, where do I start? So, in my role currently, I look after qualifications. So, we have a few qualifications that we push out for the project management profession. So, those who want to become a project manager will look at taking our PFQ. Like, it's more of a foundational fundamental qualification. And then those who are a bit more 2 to 3 years in their career, got a bit of the grips with it, that they'll look at taking the PMQ. So I look at promoting our qualifications really, and then also our chartership, so you can become a chartered project manager, which is really cool because you have chartered accountants and things like that. So it's really good that we are the only organization that provides people to become a chartered project manager. So I also take care of that, but the reason why I say it's quite exciting explaining this because I just recently got into this role looking after the qualifications. Before then, for the last 4 years at APM, I was looking after all of our books, all of our research, and all of our events as well. So we run a lot of events at APM for the project profession. We do project management awards as well, and really just nurturing the community and making sure that they can come to us for all the resources, all the knowledge, and really positioning APM as that thought leader and that go-to space. And yeah, that's what I do. And I think I really try to look closely at what I've been doing in my past few years, which is a lot around sort of digital PR you mentioned, and SEO and things like that. So every time I do look at launching a product and giving a product a new breath of life, I do look a lot into search data and looking at keyword research and things like that. But yeah, we can discuss that in a bit.
That is also a very good point, like taking your transferable skills from a marketing generalist role to, I mean, mostly PR, digital marketing, to product marketing. So this is a question I do get a lot from marketers. How can I jump from event marketing to product marketing? Is that even possible? And I think the answer is yes,
Yeah,
because you'll probably specialize, just like you shared, you're specializing, you have, let's say, your strength will be in SEO because you've done that before, but your role as a product marketer will expand as you
yeah,
go. It depends on the industry you're in and
yeah.
products you're selling. So, okay, so let's dig deeper into that.
Yes, sure.
You did mention you guys sell different kinds of products and services. How do you, as a product marketer, lead those go-to-market launches? Can you take us through a specific example, and maybe you can also talk to us about how SEO plays a role in those launches?
Yeah, oh, I love that. Okay, so one of the launches that I really enjoyed doing was for a book called Neuroscience for Project Success. So with this book, it was quite a new one for us at APM because it was more commercial facing. It's something a bit daring because, well, it's not daring, but more thought leader, positioned us as the thought leaders ahead of our field as well. Because a lot of project managers, they want to look at teamwork and leadership. Those are big areas of interest. So a key thing that I do in my role is, and with the team around me, we do look at search data. We look at any what people are typing in to find our website, find our content online. What are the areas that our project managers are interested in? And so when we came to build the neuroscience book, we know that a lot of people, are neurodivergent as well. That's a big topic these days. So how do you lead a team and lead a project whilst understanding your team and motivating them? Because human skills are so important. So when I was launching this book, I really put myself into the mind of a project manager and what are they going through when they are dealing with their team and dealing with, different projects. I worked very closely with the author of the book. She was, Carol Osterval. She's very, very knowledgeable. So what I like to do is I do things in phases. I've got like pre-launch, I do launch, and then post-launch. So it goes into more BAU activity. So pre-launch, I was really key focusing on messaging, positioning of the book, and what we want people to get out of it. So this was a lot of a pre-launch activity. So we'll have it on the website, and we have a book page as well. So we had it all up on there so people can pre-order their copy. Also, we had a range of social media posts, and like we noticed that people like video content. This was about 3 years ago, but in our field, we weren't really utilizing it as much. So we got Carol Osavar to create short videos for us, which was really good. And she was, explaining a bit about her book, but not just about her book, but more about why, understanding behavior of your team and how they behave is so important if you want to build a strong team and build a strong, successful project. So anyway, worked with her, and I also realized, we got a conference coming up, because I worked with the events too. So I was working with books and working events. We can bridge things together. So I managed to get her as a speaker at the conference, at our conference, and I also created a stand where she would be, and she could sign the copies of the books there. So after her session, she was on stage doing her 20-30 minute session. Everyone could come to our area, buy the book and talk to her, get it signed, etc., get their answers. So that was a really good experience, because I wanted to take away the offline, take things from online to offline and continue in that experience. And I think it goes back to what we were saying about, being in the events marketing space all those years ago, and then linking that back to how we can improve that experience for people. What do people want? If we want them to buy your product, which is essentially this neuroscience book, you've got to get them interested and sell that story and tug at their heartstrings, isn't it? It's got to be something they're interested in. And that really worked so well. We sold like so many copies. It really shifted so many sales in such a short space of time. And after that, she was on we did a lot of LinkedIn live sessions as well. A lot of assets, getting her featured and the book featured in a lot of newsletters and email campaigns that we were doing. There's just a range of activity that I managed to plan out. And yeah, just really went back to just getting that messaging right at the start, and bringing our audience along with the journey and the experience, because it's all about emotions, really.
Okay, first of all, I'm so happy you talked about a book launch, because I've never spoken to a product marketer behind a book launch. And I think there's this conception this misconception that we product marketers only work with SaaS products
Yeah,
and digital products, but actually no, even a book launch, you need a product marketing team. And it's a great launch because you mentioned all these different activities and bringing the offline to online, which is usually is the other way around. So,
yeah,
it's such an interesting launch. I'm very curious about the success metrics in a launch like this. You did mention obviously how many books would you sell,
yeah.
but are there other things you would look at that indicate whether the launch was a success or
Mhm.
not? Things your team and you have learned along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we'll be tracking the standard things like email opens, the click-through rates. We'll be looking at website traffic as well, and also search, like how are people searching for neurodiversity, neuroscience in the project, or how to lead a neurodiverse team, etc. So we're looking at like the keyword search as well. We use a lot of tools like Google Search Console, SEMrush, etc. Have we seen a surge in people searching for these things? Because then that shows that actually we've implanted some kind of thought into the project professional space, because it was the first book of its kind and it's doing so well. And we're able to track that, because after we've done all the launch campaigns and the emails and yes, you can see all those open metrics, but the key telltale sign to see how impactful it still is really through that search data. And that's something I'm really pushing for product marketers, getting the two mixed up in my mind, sorry. product marketers to really focus on is the search data as well, because people are looking for your product or looking for your service. How are they going to find that? How are you going to deliver something that they actually care about if you don't know what they're looking for and searching? So we've seen an increase in people searching for tools and resources around leading neurodiverse teams in project management field. So that shows big success of it as well.
Yeah, I do think that is definitely one thing maybe we overlook a little bit, like
Mm.
SEO in general, because we when I say we, it's product marketers,
Yeah,
think that maybe it sits under someone else's
yeah,
role, like a digital marketer or SEO expert.
that's it.
But as you said, there's many tools that we can use to just have, I guess, indicators. You don't
Yeah,
need to be SEO experts, but understanding whether, as you said, your audience is navigating through what you're producing and
yeah,
promoting. But would that be more of like top of the funnel metrics? Because for me, SEO is usually, it's a great indicator if there's a lot of blogs being produced, like it could be a good indicator. But in general, would you say it should be considered as a success metric for any launch, because you're just looking at, are people actually searching for what is
yeah.
being promoted?
I think it can be used throughout. It doesn't have to be. I mean, it's very important for obviously awareness piece, top of funnel activity, and but I think it's really important because before you bring your product or your service, you launch it or you add a new feature and you launch it, you need to see what is the general consensus of it. Are we launching a feature or product that people actually care about? Is there something like this already on the market, and how is it performing? What are people saying about it? So I always say it's so important to look at, like, even like Reddit forums. You can scrape the data. I know you mentioned there are others in the team, in the wider marketing team, or you can outsource it to SEO specialists and who can scrape the data and create that the report and make it so much more simple, because obviously we're so busy as product marketers, we don't have all the time to do this stuff, and it's not our specialism. But what I preach really is to really utilize that, and it is great for that top of funnel activity, but it also helps to indicate a bit more of that consideration phase. Are people ready to buy? If they're typing in project management qualifications near me, I can see whether the closest one, the areas people are looking for. Do we have an appearance in those locations? Are we serving those regions? What can we be doing more for those people there? So it does help with awareness and the top of funnel, but it can be used all throughout the marketing strategy. It's so important that we look at the keywords that we get. So like you said, we use it in blog articles. I think that's like a basic thing, and using it on the website. But also it can help determine how we want to write our copy for, how do we call the product? What do we want to call it? Or, the messaging. Okay, how people describing products like ours, and then that can help shape the evolution of the products that we want to bring to market. So it's really important. I think it plays a big role in marketing as a whole, but also as product marketers, when we utilize such data.
You know what? That is a really good point, especially if you don't have time to conduct user
Yeah,
interviews, talk to your customers every single day.
yeah,
Mm, hanging out where they hang out is a good way to do
that's
it. So
it.
you mentioned Reddit, but also forums where
Yeah,
they are communicating their thoughts or sharing their opinions on the book, for
that's
example.
it.
There's many ways you can stalk in a healthy way.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, Gabrielle, thank you so much for sharing that. I'd love to wrap up the conversation by asking you, what is one key learning that you have that you can share with us from, because you mentioned one product launch, but I'm
yeah.
sure there's many.
So
So
many.
so what is one learning that you have and that you can share with us?
Yeah, well, where do I start? I mean, I love the fact that I could bring something different. I know a lot of, in the product marketing space, a lot of it is like, software products. But it's one learning I've had as a product marketer is to really use all the resources you can. So it's so easy that I think me and you mentioned this earlier in our other chat, but it's so easy to like carry everything as a product marketer. But I've really learned that I know sales teams and product marketers, we have to work very much hand in hand, but they are on the ground, they are getting that first hand feedback. So I've really learned to just, really tap into what they are experiencing and what feedback they're getting. Another thing I've learned is sometimes go with them. And the reason I say that is, so I know with APM, we're a very different type of company to most businesses who have product marketers. But one thing I've noticed is that when I go to these events where my customer is going to be there and I am going to be selling these products to them and they're at our events, I've really learned that it's so important that I'm there and listening to the discussions they're having with our sales teams, because they are asking questions. I'm like, is that not clear? Did we not make that clear in the messaging, the copywriting, in the email campaign we sent 3 weeks ago? Was it not clear enough? So hearing those questions that they're asking the sales team on the ground in these events, in these we might have some focus groups, etc. It's really important to listen to that. So I think one learning is to really pull from all the resources I have in the wider company and hear the feedback that they're getting from those who are on the ground and who are actually interacting with our customers, and then applying that to the product and how we promote it and talk about it in our messaging and copy.
Nice. I love that learning, and it's also an advice, right? Like leverage every single resource you
Yeah,
get as a product
yeah.
marketer. Thank you so much, Gabrielle. It was great talking to you and learning more about your experience. And thank you for joining the Too Long Don't Listen show.
Thank you for having me, Sandra. Appreciate it.